Welcome to a very special Valentine's Day edition of the Late Show Word of the Week. I am your host, David Letterman. Joining me tonight is a guest that makes all the ladies swoon. None other than movie star George Clooney. Thanks for coming on the show, George. Be very quiet. I'm hunting wabbits. Goodness gracious. You look an awful lot like the wascally wabbit I have been working for. Okay. First of all, I am not Bugs Bunny. And you are not Elmer Fudd. Snap out of it, George. So I am. Woo on off ma. This does not work like a Looney Tunes cartoon. You are quite the twixter quizzy wabbit. If you think this is a Looney Tunes cartoon, I think you have taken a wrong turn at the fork in the road. This is the Late Show Word of the Week starring me, David Letterman. But you do work a won't like Bugs Bunny. Mr. Clooney. As the entire viewing audience knows, I am David Letterman, world-famous host of the Late Show Word of the Week. Oh yeah, I have heard of this show before. I never ever thought that a cartoon character like me would ever be a guest on such a fantastic show. It is quite an honor to be here with you, David. Why do you keep talking like Elmer Fudd? You are George Clooney. Hey, we sent that. Alright. I will play along with you. So anyways, let's get to the main event. I know that Captain Wordnerd has hired you to announce the winning word. Will you please do the honors, Elmer? Look into the camera and give the people what they want. The Kamoa. Alright then, here it is. Pneumonia ultramicroscopic silico, volcanoconiosis. You must be delirious. Although the 35-letter word happens to be the longest word in any English dictionary and refers to a lung disease, it was just made up by some guy named Everett Smith, the president of the National Puzzlers League, in 1935 purely for the purpose of inventing a new, longest word. This word appears in most dictionaries, but I know for a fact that was not one of the words the students voted on. I know it. I was just messing with you, David. Wait a minute, what happened to your accent? What do you mean you are messing with me? David, I am one of the greatest dramatic actors of my generation. You should have known that I was out to bamboozle you. So by acting like Elmer Fudd, you knew I would call you Delirious. The new word of the week. I have to admit, I never saw this one coming, George. The word delirious means that you are sick or just plain overexcited to the point that may cause a person to imagine things that are not real. Like I was so excited to be on the show tonight and thought I was part of a Looney Tunes cartoon. My trusty dictionary and thesaurus tells me that other synonyms for delirious include fever, frenzy, hysteria, or overactive imagination. The word has actually been used since the late 1500s. Very interesting, David. Yes, it is. Even though Mr. Bailey thinks it is a bunch of malarkey that his word did not win. The word malarkey certainly fits this situation perfectly too. Are you trying to tell me that you think this week's results were a bunch of nonsense, foolishness, baloney, gibberish, or preposterous? Yep, a bunch of malarkey. I bet Mr. Bailey is glad that I snuck that bonus word into tonight's show. Well done, David. Thank you, Mr. Clooney. Now it's time for the portion of our show called Dear David, in which we read tweets, Facebook messages, and emails from our viewers live on today's show. Mrs. Keller from LaSalle just sent us a tweet asking the following question. Dear David, did you know there is one and only one word in the English language that ends with the letters M and T? Actually, I didn't know that. The only word in the English language that ends with the letters M and T is. I say that you save that answer for next week's show. You sure do know how to build suspense. Stay tuned for the answer to our trivia question next Monday, or search for the answer yourself if you dare. Happy Valentine's Day to one and all. See you next Monday on the next edition of The Late Show Word of the Week.